Greetings and welcome to Pickled Watermelon Rinds, a guilty pleasure podcast featuring Auntie Joan and Auntie providing our zesty and marginally mature take on current events, pop culture, and trends. Now we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Well, hi, Auntie Joan.
Hi, Auntie. How you doing?
I'm just fine, thanks. How about your own self?
You're welcome. Oh, no, I'm not doing okay. I got this weird hip thing going on. I tell you, it feels like I just had my hip replaced.
Do you do the hippie shake? I love that song.
Oh,
The hippie
really?
shake. Mm-hmm. That was from
Oh my
Cocktail. I
God.
think I first heard it, that movie,
Oh,
way back when. But I love
yeah.
that. I love
Yeah,
that
you're
song.
too young to.
The hippie
Okay.
shake.
Okay. Yeah, no, it feels like, I just had it really hurt down there. It's getting better. Yeah, I don't know what the deal was. I think I just twisted something.
Well, don't you have bionic hips?
I have titanium balls, if you must know.
Balls of steel.
Balls of steel.
Nice, Auntie Joan.
That's right. Both of them. And I got the x-ray to prove it. But then we know that balls are kind of tender things.
Not
that-
yours.
No, not mine. That's for certain. Yeah. I got balls of steel and a vagina, too, that can take a beating.
Oh, all right.
Well, that was a quote that people attributed to Betty White, but it wasn't actually her who said it. It was somebody else. But, yeah.
Oh, it's Shirley MacLaine's 91st birthday today. I heard it on the radio.
Oh my gosh, she's 91 years old.
Yes, and Barbra Streisand is 83 today.
Oh my gosh.
Two iconic women.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a special episode too, isn't it?
That's right, because this is our 60th episode. Happy
We're
60th episode.
60. Because we can kick and oh no, that's 50, isn't it?
It is. But Mariska Hargitay, when she turned 60, she repurposed that exact thing for her 60th birthday.
She did.
And says she's 60 and she does the Molly Shannon kicks and everything.
Oh, well, good on her.
Kicks and stretches. That's right.
I have not seen that.
Yes, she was on, I don't remember which talk show. It wasn't Seth. I know that's all I usually watch. It was something else. And I don't remember what it was, but yes. Or maybe it was Seth. That would make sense because he's the only nightly talk show that I watch. You know, John Oliver doesn't have guests, and Bill Maher, she wasn't definitely not on Bill Maher. Yeah, it must have been Seth.
Yeah, Bill Maher doesn't give them the opportunity to do that kind of stuff either. So
no. I mean, it could have been, what's his face, Stephen Colbert. It's possible.
Yeah. You watch him still?
No, I don't. I can't get it on my stuff. I don't have the Hulu Plus or whatever the heck it's called for the live TV stuff. That's the only way I can get CBS because he's on CBS. So yes, she did repurpose that. So that's pretty fun.
Well, I'm gonna dig that out and take a look at it.
Yes, fun. Quick correction. I know I told everybody last week that the Costco return policy for appliances when I was going through my woes with the Whirlpool was 365 days. That is incorrect. I reread the policy. I don't consider appliances electronics. And the topic where they started the exception said electronics, and they had a list of stuff, but I never read through that because I was like, well, this isn't electronic. Apparently, Costco calls appliances electronics. Anywho, it's really 90 days. So I still would have been covered and being able to leverage the wonderful Costco policy of that they want to make sure that you're getting quality products and things like that from them in my particular circumstance because my machine failed in less than 30 days of delivery and within 24 hours of install, blah, blah, blah. So I still would have been covered, but no, not 365 days. I was incorrect on that. So sorry about that, folks. I still recommend doing Costco. So if you do have a unit fail within 90 days, you'll get a much easier return policy or exchange policy.
So in other words, if you get something electronic with any electronics in it from Costco.
Anything that plugs in. Yeah. I guess is how they are called, what they are calling electronics.
Yeah. Open it up and set it up before your 90 days runs out.
Yep, for sure.
Well, thank you for that.
You bet. And you've got some news to share.
I do. I do. My tenants had 3 babies that I saw. So
Mm.
I was Easter. It was Easter. I looked out on my front porch and I saw the birds, the little 3 baby birds with the mama. I
Mm-hmm.
think it was the mama feeding them, coming back to the nest. Now, I'm kind of a little nervous because I don't see them sticking their heads up a lot.
Oh.
Matter of fact, I went out and watered my Boston ferns, which I got from Lowe's, 2 for $20.
Oh.
I went out and watered those on the porch this morning, and Mama was not around, and I didn't hear the birds chirping. So usually, when Mama's not there, the birds hide, the
Mm-hmm.
babies hide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't seen her in a little bit, so we'll
Oh.
see. Yeah.
Well, maybe my neighbor sent me a picture of a big owl that was in a
Oh,
tree near his house, and he texted me to tell me because it flew my way. But
wow.
I didn't see it. I couldn't find it. If
Oh,
it perched in a tree, it was very well hidden. I couldn't see it. I would have
they
loved to have seen it fly.
yeah, yeah.
The
It,
wingspan is impressive, but
they do have great camouflage, those owls.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
his pictures, it's good, but it's not detailed. You definitely know. And
Mm-hmm.
it was a
Mm-hmm.
big owl. It was a good size owl. So, but no, I couldn't see it. So technically not a second. I did have 2 coyotes go through this morning.
Oh, did you?
After light too. It was after 6:30. I wasn't too happy about that to see them
Huh.
when it
Huh.
was light out. I didn't see them. My cameras caught it. And I was like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, the
I
coyotes.
saw on one of the TikTok reel things,
Mm-hmm.
Facebook reel things, a Great Pyrenees whose job was to watch and protect the sheep. And I guess he protected those sheep from like 6 coyotes.
Great Pyrenees is no joke.
Yeah, yeah.
They are fearless and they are very protective.
Well, I don't know about fearless. I knew somebody that back when I had Stanley as a 1-year-old, I met this woman who had a Great Pyrenees
Mm-hmm.
pup, same age as Stanley,
Mm-hmm.
and he was kind of a wimp.
He was also still young.
Yeah, well, I saw him for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but right, that's what they're there for, to protect the sheep, and they do their job usually. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm,
So,
mhm. So in honor of our 60th episode,
yes.
I did a little dive back to what was happening 60 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some interesting things. Number 1 on my list, the first spacewalk. And it was a Russian, Leonov, who took a spacewalk for 12 minutes and 9 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That's almost as long as the girls were up in space a couple of weeks ago, if you know what I mean. While he was out there walking, his spacesuit had inflated so much in the vacuum of space that he could barely get back inside the capsule at the end. I don't need to go out to space to have that happen.
No kidding. Just got to go to snooze or Uka or.
Yeah. And then he ended up having to open up a valve on his suit to let out some pressure before he could make it back inside. Just 3 months later, an American, Edward H. White II, went outside of his capsule on the Gemini 4 mission and did his little spacewalk. I don't have the amount of time he was out there. So that was 60 years ago, our first spacewalk. Not to be confused with the moonwalk, which that was Michael Jackson on
There you go.
was it the Grammys or it was Motown tribute? Anyway, on March 25th, 1965, Cassius Clay,
Mm-hmm.
who became better known as Muhammad Ali, punched out Sonny Liston in what became known as the Phantom Punch. He knocked him out in the first round. And there was something saying a lot of people missed the whole thing because they got there late, for
Mm-hmm.
the show. So, folks, be there when the show starts.
Or don't go to boxing at all.
Don't go to boxing at all. Yeah, I kind of don't get that so much. Yeah. Then The Sound of Music premiered in 1965, in March of 1965. Really makes me feel old to realize that was 60 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. And the top single on February 8th of 1965
Hippie
was,
shake.
nope,
Ah.
Stop in the Name of Love. heart. Yeah, by the Supremes.
Think it over.
Haven't I been good to you? The Oscars went to, for the best movie, was My Fair Lady. Rex Harrison for the best actor, and Julie Andrews for her performance in Mary Poppins. Now we get to the really interesting stuff, the Grammys, the music. I'm going to list some songs that won. It was only the 7th year of the Grammys too. 60 years ago. It was only the 7th year. When you see the difference in the Grammys winners 60 years ago and what they are today, it's kind of a little surprising. The record of the year went to The Girl from Ipanema. Ipanema by Stan Getz and Astrid Gilberto. Tall and tan and young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes walking, and when she passes goes. Ah. Also nominated for that record of the year was People by Barbara Streisand.
Who is 83 today?
Who is 83 today? The album of the year was Getz slash Gilberto, Stan Getz and Joao Gilberto. And also up nominees were the Pink Panther album, People album with Barbara Streisand, and Funny Girl, the album Funny Girl with Barbara Streisand, who is 83 today. So she would have only been 23 back then.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? Boy, she was quite the riser. The best performance by a vocal group, A Hard Day's Night by the Beatles. Also nominated, the Double Six sing Ray Charles, Peter, Paul, and Mary in concert, More Four Freshmen and Five Trombones by the Four Freshmen, and Grand Old Opry Favorites by the Browns, whoever they were. So I would say that music has changed considerably over the years. For 2025, the album of the year was Cowboy Carter with Beyonce. And the record of the year was Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar. Song of the year was Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar. And then the best new artist was Chappell Rowan. And now they've added, since 60 years ago, of course, they've added a best rap album, which was Alligator Bites Never Heal. And the best popular vocal album, Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter. And then the best duo group performance, Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, which, by the way, I absolutely love that song.
Never heard it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's quite touching. So comparing music over the 60 years, it's interesting to me how much music has changed. The artists have changed. There's a lot of one-namers out there. 60 years ago, having a last name was something that people really took pride in.
Not Cher.
Not Cher. She was one of the first. That was my take on 60 years ago.
Well, thank you for sharing all of that.
Oh, I'm so happy to share it with you. And this was before your time. So that's what your parents were listening to.
Well, not really, but
yeah.
Peter, Paul, and Mary, yes.
Really?
Yes. That's about it from that list.
They weren't into Barbara Streisand or, no? Oh, I loved Barbara Streisand. A Funny Girl. Oh my gosh. I think I had that album and I would play it all the time. I had dreams, of being a star.
Mm-hmm.
But here we are. I finally made it.
And though not 60 themed, we are going to do a little fun thing that we haven't done before. And we're going to play a round of Would You Rather. And Auntie Joan and I are going to ask each other 6 questions each on Would You Rather. Would you like to start, Auntie Joan, or would you like me to start?
No, you go first.
All right. Now, some of these I only made up, out of the 6, I only made up 2. The other 4 I got from some website that we'll provide the link for. It's just what inspired us doing this game. The first one is not an original thought of mine, but I like this question. Would you rather live forever as a human or as a different animal?
If I could live forever, I think I would rather live as a bird.
Okay.
To be able to fly around and rise above. Yeah. How about you?
Human.
Really?
I would. I thought about tiger would be the only other thing I could think of. And I would say cat or dog, but I can't guarantee that I'd get into a house like mine or yours.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and we know how people can be assholes. So I didn't want to hedge my bet on that one. Same, kind of similar with tiger. They're not exactly protected and can be killed.
Speaking of tiger, did you see who got married?
Yes.
The Tiger King got married.
Yes. That was the first documentary in the documentary club that a group of my friends and I reviewed. That got it all started during the pandemic. And that's what kicked off our club, the Tiger King. And actually, I had seen it before it became a sensation because I just was randomly on Netflix and this thing came up and I'm like, what the hell is this? And then I was hooked. I watched it. I don't think I binged it in one sitting, but it was pretty close. And that's when I reached out to my friends and said, we're kind of stuck in our houses. How about we get on a Zoom and we all talk about maybe this documentary? And one of my friends did not want to watch it because she was afraid of what they were going to portray. And I said,
Yeah.
fear not. I'm like, they allude to some abuse, but they don't show any of the abuse. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about seeing a tiger in pain or being really injured or anything like that. So
that put me off from watching it for a while.
Yeah.
But then I think you did. Yeah, you told me then.
But then you watch and you're just like, oh my God, what a shit show. What an absolute shit show. It's good TV.
Good times. Good times.
But yes, he got married for was it third time in?
I think it was the fifth.
And he's incarcerated while he's incarcerated for the next 21 years. So I'm sure that'll go swimmingly. All right, Auntie Joan, would you rather have a pet that can talk or a pet that can cook?
Yeah, I saw that. Definitely a pet that can cook.
Really? Because yes. I'm definitely a pet that can talk.
Are you sure you want that?
Definitely. Definitely. I definitely would want that because I can cook for them. I don't need them to cook for me. But I'd rather chit chat with them.
I'd rather they keep their thoughts to themselves.
Oh no. Yeah, and I want to know if they're really sick. Are they hurting in any way? Well,
yeah.
That's one of the big reasons.
That would be, yeah.
All right. Would you rather be an amazing singer or an amazing dancer? This is mine, original.
A dancer.
And I'm definitely a singer.
Yeah?
I would love to be able to sing. I would love that so much.
I'd love to watch dance, ballroom or ballet or any of that.
Oh,
stuff. Yeah.
Dule danced on Kelly Clarkson. He's a tap dancer. Did you know this?
I did know that.
Did he tap dance on The View?
No, not on The View, but he tap danced in Psych.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very good. He's very good.
He is.
All right, Auntie Joan. Would you rather?
When was that show with Kelly Clarkson?
This week sometime.
Oh, well, I'm going to go back and
look. I know. I didn't know I could get Kelly Clarkson's show. I just literally found out on the Peacock that I can watch it. Not in real time, but I was like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. So I started watching her stuff. All right, Auntie Joan. Would you rather have a perfect memory or a perfect future telling ability?
I wonder if that would include like horse racing or gambling of any sort.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, if you've got future ability, you would know who would win which races and you could bet on them or which numbers would get called.
I mean, that's all included. It's you can tell the future. Would you prefer that or a perfect memory?
Future.
Yeah, I'm perfect memory.
Yeah,
100%.
I guess you're financially comfortable.
Well, I'd like to be surprised. I don't want to know what's coming. I don't want to know exactly when I'm going to die. I mean, I know I'm going to, but I don't need to know the day or how or any of that crap. Let's just let it happen when it happens. And if I was future telling, I would know that information. And no thanks.
So you'd rather remember things perfectly.
Right. Yes.
That's a good thing because I know that as we look back on things, we do kind of remember things maybe a little differently than how it might have really happened, and definitely differently than other people who were involved in like a particular instance would remember it probably differently. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. My reason for that would be more so, I always remember my pets that have passed, my
Yeah,
parents who
yeah,
have passed, my
yeah.
grandparents, people who are close to me. And that's why I would want to have a perfect memory. But
Hmm.
yeah, that's wow. We're like complete opposites thus far. This is awesome. This is my contribution, my other contribution. Would you rather have a pet pig or a mini horse living in your home?
Oh, well, that goes without thinking. A horse, a mini horse.
Yeah, I think they would be cute. I would want that too.
Can
I
you see them jumping up on the couch
I
and
know, so cute.
getting in bed with you? I mean, come on.
Adorable.
Mr. Killian is about the size of a mini horse.
Yeah, I would have to go with horse too. I do think it'd be fun to have a pet pig too. If I had to pick between the two, it would be mini horse for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Well, they're cuter and they're more fun to pet and stuff.
Yes. All
I
right.
mean, if,
Last one
yeah.
on my list
Yes.
for Auntie Joan. Would you rather be able to teleport or fly? And I already know the
Oh,
answer.
teleport.
Really? I thought it'd be
Yeah,
fly because
yeah.
your whole bird thing.
That's yeah, I know. But if I had to choose, I would rather be able to close my eyes and then be somewhere
Oh,
rather than have
we
to
agree
fly
on
there.
this.
Yeah, yeah, you too.
Yes. Yes. So 2 out of the 6 we agreed on my list: the mini horse and teleporting. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you've
I'm
flown enough that
I'm
you're.
afraid of heights. I don't. I don't.
Oh,
When I'm in a plane, it doesn't feel like I'm at heights. And again, since I've done it, done it so many times, it doesn't bother me anymore.
oh,
It
you've
did
done
when I
it
first
so many
started, though.
times. Yeah.
For sure. When I
Hmm.
first started flying, it was awful. And then I was like, well, and then I was forced to with work. I had to fly. And then I was like, well, so I got over that. To actually fly on my own and have nothing between me and the ground, hells no.
Well,
Hells
see,
no.
as a bird, back to the earlier question, I mean, I would have the confidence to know that I can fly and glide and land safely and stuff like that. But if I'm going to go from point A to point B, I don't want to have to. I just want to,
You just
yeah,
want to get
get
there.
there and yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Agree.
yeah.
All right. What you got for me, Auntie Joan?
Would you rather be on a dating show or a survival show?
Dating show.
Really?
Yeah. Because I can
Well,
end that. I can
yeah,
end that very
yeah,
quickly.
yeah. That's yeah, yeah. That would be
Survival show,
mine too.
hells no. I don't want
Yeah,
to be no
yeah,
bugs. I don't want to be no,
yeah,
or
yeah.
mice or rats or whatever the fuck they cook up. No. Ugh.
Okay, so we agree on that one. Would you rather have a 1 minute conversation with your past self or your future self?
Past self, so I can tell myself to invest in like Apple or Amazon or whatever
Oh,
early
yeah,
on.
yeah, good
Yeah.
one. Yeah, mine would be past self too, but it would be more like appreciate what you have body wise.
Yes.
And when the joints are still working and all that stuff, enjoy it and take advantage of it while you can.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather run into an alien or Bigfoot?
Bigfoot, because I think he'd be fun to hug.
Oh, we're agreeing on all these.
Well, he's right out in my backyard anyway. I have one.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Would you rather spend time with older or younger people?
So I have to say, most of my adulthood, it's been older people.
Hmm?
Now that I'm getting older, I wouldn't mind hanging out with younger people. I don't think they'd want to hang out with me, but I wouldn't mind hanging out with them.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. Would you rather believe in fate or coincidence?
Would I rather? Because currently I believe more in coincidence than I do fate.
Mm-hmm.
But would I rather it the other way around? I think it would
Ah.
be more wistful and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'd probably pick fate.
Fate?
Fate, yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide my own self on that one too.
Yeah, my very analytical brain seeps me into that's just a coincidence, that nothing's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
fated. If I could change my analytical brain, I would probably want it to be more based on fate.
But if you think about it, if something is relies on fate, it's like you have no control over it.
Correct.
Where with
I'm also a control
coincidence,
freak, so hence coincidence is where I live. But what I would like is maybe not to have so much control and just know that everything is predetermined. Maybe that would free me up just to live my life without thinking of consequences. It's just, I don't know. I don't do that. So my head won't let me.
when I think about it, like when there's a plane crash,
Mm-hmm.
all those people's lives, every decision they made, all led up to them being on that plane, on that flight at that time. So, I mean, you kind of think like maybe there is fate, maybe there's just, I don't know. I guess maybe I would lean more towards coincidence. Maybe I would rather believe in coincidence.
Okay.
Like there's still hope. Would you rather be able to do any magic occasionally or have the powers of one superhero all the time?
Magic.
Magic?
I think witchcraft magic, not.
Real magic you're
Yes.
talking about.
Yes. Hands down. I don't need to be no superhero. I don't need any of that shit. Then people want me to help them. Fuck that.
Oh, it's all about you then, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Huh. Okay. Would I rather? Yeah, I think me too. I would rather be able to do magic.
And cast
Yeah.
spells, and that would be
Yeah.
fun.
Would you rather, what was the one I saw that I thought was pretty cool? Would you rather be invisible or
Oh,
yeah,
it
was
was
that on
invisible.
the
I forgot
list?
what the other one is, but invisible would be what I would want. Was it super strength or something?
Oh, would you rather have power to read minds or become
Oh.
invisible?
Invisible.
Yeah, I don't know what you're thinking. I don't
I
want to
don't
know
want to
what you're
know.
thinking. Nuh-uh.
I don't want to know.
Nope. Keep it to yourself.
Agree.
So we agreed on all but one
Oh,
of mine.
okay.
Yeah. Which
Fun.
was, would you rather believe in fate or coincidence? I'd rather go with coincidence.
There you go.
Yeah. So,
All right. We have a couple of crop tending topics to share with our listener today. Auntie Joan, you wanted to talk about Nard Dog Cooks.
Nard Dog Cooks. Have you seen his?
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
I think I made one or two of his recipes.
He makes vegan cooking look like I'm going to go vegan.
Well,
I know. Everything he does just looks so good, except for that shawarma thing he made. I don't know. That didn't look so good. But it's the Nard Dog Cooks, and the guy who does it is Andrew Bernard, and not the Andrew Bernard from The Office.
right.
This is another Andrew Bernard, and hence that's how he came up with the Nard Dog, because that was Andrew Bernard's character's nickname on The Office. He's on Instagram. You can find him on YouTube. He also has a website, makeitdairyfree.com. The ones, oh my gosh, his orange tofu. That looked so good. I mean, it looked like orange chicken. Yeah. The 20-minute pasta he made looked delish. Cinnamon quick bread. I don't know if I sent that one to you.
Yes, that's the one I haven't made it yet, but it's on my list to make that. But I have to have either. Oh, maybe next time I see you, maybe I'll bring it down on Saturday. I have to split it. I can't have like the whole thing in my house because I will eat the whole thing. And
well, you can freeze it too, can't you?
Yeah, can. I won't.
Okay.
I know myself.
Gotcha.
So I have to share it. I can't just make things like that.
I'll take it.
All right, maybe I'll make it first. Maybe I'll bring it down on Saturday.
He made a brownie baked oatmeal. They came out like brownies, but
yes, because what I was going to do is take that batter and swirl it into nice cream that I make and make like a brownie batter nice cream. Yes, I remember seeing that one too, and I was like, oh, I think I saved that. But the cinnamon one, I want to make that like I wanted to make it as soon as you sent it. I was like, oh my God. I love cinnamon. I love anything cinnamon. Oh my God. More cinnamon, the better. I've really gotten into just taking fresh dates, cutting them open. I always get the pitted ones, cutting medjool dates, cutting it open, and then sprinkling some cinnamon on it. And it tastes like you're just eating cinnamon and sugar, which is perfect for me. I love that. So it's like...
And you got some, and it's healthy.
Yes.
Dates are healthy.
They are healthy. They don't give you that sugar spike. So
Mhm.
that's very good. They are high in calories though. Or in my opinion they are because I want to eat like, 10 of them. Well, they're 40 calories a piece. The medjool dates, the nice big plump wonderful dates are 40 calories a piece. So I was very sad when when I actually looked at the calorie on it. I was like, "What do you
Mm.
mean? Like I can eat 10 of these in a sitting without even like I just munch on them. They're so good."
Well, but then you look at avocados that are really high in fat, but it's the good fat. So at least with the dates, you're getting some nutrition and stuff from them.
You are, but it still counts for your calorie intake for the day. Like
Yeah.
like avocados, they're also high. Well, not super high, honestly. For the whole avocado, it's like I think it's 320 calories. I know.
Wow.
They're pretty
Wow.
high.
Yeah.
But if you only eat half, it's 160 calories, which isn't terrible.
Yeah, but
So,
you don't just eat a half avocado and say that's going to satisfy me.
well, if you put it on stuff, not just
Like
eat it on.
bread or toast and
Yeah. Or a salad, a half an avocado all diced up
yeah,
onto a
yeah, yeah,
salad,
yeah.
with other good stuff in it, or use it as like, the avocado toast,
Mhm.
so that it's replacing butter. I love dates. I have them shipped to me. I love them that much.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get 2 bags a month. 'Cause I love dates. They're
But
delicious.
don't I mean I love the photography and stuff that I mean it he just
Oh yeah, everything's done really well. Very
yeah,
professional on his
yeah,
site for
yeah.
sure.
So
Yes.
if you just want to try a non-meat, non-dairy dish, go to the Nard Dog Cooks on Instagram or makeitdairyfree.com and give it a look and give it a try.
Yes, he's got some good things. You'll enjoy it.
Hmm.
And then you
Hmm.
too will be vegan. Kidding.
He makes it look good.
Yep.
That's for sure.
I have another correction from last week. I think I said that those Derek videos that I watched,
Hmm.
the dog,
Hmm.
that I saw them, well, because I just edited the episode, so I know exactly what I said. I said that I saw this on the YouTube, and I can't believe those words even came out of my mouth because I don't watch the YouTube. I go to YouTube for like how-to videos. Like I don't know why I said that. It makes no sense. It was Instagram, folks. Instagram. So the links are correct in our episode from last week, but for some reason I blurted out that I saw this on the YouTube, and I'm like, I almost cut it because then I'm like, no, because then you don't say anything, and I'm like, no, I'll keep it in. I'll just do a correction. So here we are.
I did watch his latest. I think
Oh,
it's his latest. We're playing baseball.
yes. Stealing second, stealing third. But
Well,
then
I'm a
then you're
Christian.
gonna tell me what? What I have to run home? He's like, that's right, you run home. He's like, but then I'm gonna have all. Then the cops are gonna come, and because I stole all these bases.
But I'm a Christian and I don't, that's wrong to steal and we're not supposed to do that.
Oh, he's
And it's
so
the
good.
German Shepherd. That's the straight guy, and a
Right.
Bernese Mountain Dog. That's
Oh,
the
it's not Bernese
goofball.
Mountain Dog.
Well, sure looks like it.
It is? I thought it was a Australian Shepherd.
Well, I thought it was a Bernese Mountain Dog. Do we need to look?
I don't know, because then I got another correction to make because I know I called him an Australian Shepherd last week. Search.
Well, I've got him up here.
Grizzly.
Yeah, he's not a Australian Shepherd. You want me to send you the link?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Oh, maybe he is a Bernese Mountain Dog.
He's kind of small, but
Maybe he is. I don't know why. Okay, correction. Another correction. All right. Oh, God, Jesus Christ. I shouldn't even have talked last week. Oh, fuck is wrong?
don't be so hard on
My
yourself.
God, yikes. Auntie Joan is 100% correct. Derek is a Bernese Mountain Dog. So, yes, yet another correction for Auntie. I don't even know what good God. I was drinking, but I only had a beer. But I can't really blame it on the alcohol because the second beer I opened, I only had a couple sips and I was over
Yeah,
it.
and you came into it already believing he was Australian Shepherd, not a Bernese Mountain Dog.
Yeah, but I mean, clearly, seeing the video now, clearly it's a Bernese Mountain Dog. I don't know what in my brain, in my head, he was black and white. And he's definitely not, folks.
No, he's
Definitely not. He is 100% a Bernese Mountain Dog.
He's
might
got
be-
some orange in him.
Yeah, he's, yeah. I got nothing. Thanks for the correction, Auntie Joan.
You're welcome. Anything else I can correct you on, I'll be sure to do it.
Thanks. Oh, I went to, finally, there's this little Asian cafe very close to the Safeway I go to in Idaho Springs that I have been meaning to try, and finally bit the bullet the other day and went in. And it's proper.
Yeah?
It is a proper restaurant. I thoroughly enjoyed every single thing that I shoved into my gullet. It was lunchtime. I went like about 11:45, so it's just before lunch. I was the only person in the restaurant. Totally fine with me. The tables were clean. The seats were clean and all that. The menus, they probably need a little updating, if I had to say. It was only lunch specials. There's a much more extensive menu for dinner. I ended up getting sesame tofu, and I got a choice of a couple of things that I could have gotten with it. I chose the vegetable egg rolls, and those came out first. They were piping hot, burned my mouth. Not quite as hot as Thai Kitchen. These were still pretty hot, and I gobbled it. It was delicious. And they were a little bit bigger than Thai Kitchens too. Not real like old fashioned egg rolls, like the really big ones. They were that style, just about half of that, and I got two of them. So I really did get a whole, like an old fashioned big one, an old fashioned big one. It was cut in half, it was two pieces, and it was delicious. And then came my dish, and I took a picture of it, folks, and we're going to post it. It was the perfect size. It wasn't a ginormous portion. It was an absolutely perfect size portion of tofu in the sesame sauce with sesame seeds on top. And then on a bed of steamed vegetables that were not mixed in the sauce, but were on top of more sauce that was on the plate. So you could mix in as much sauce onto the vegetables as you wanted, or you could just eat steamed vegetables. And it does normally come with fried rice, but fried rice has egg in it. So I asked for white rice. And it was that was a pretty decent sized portion of white rice. That was the only thing I did not finish on the plate. The tofu was not as crispy as I'm used to for sesame tofu. And the sauce was more vinegar based than I'm used to with sesame tofu, but I loved it. I was concerned that I wasn't going to like the tofu, because I actually do really like when there's a nice crunch to it, but it was delicious. Positively, the vegetables, freshly steamed. The broccoli, fresh.
Wow.
Like everything was fresh. Nothing was a frozen byproduct, mixed in so much sauce you can't tell, which is kind of how I get it at Uka, but I love my Uka. I don't know if they use fresh vegetables. I don't know if they use frozen vegetables. I really don't care. I love Uka. But this, you could tell that they were absolutely the freshest vegetables and just lightly steamed. They still had a little crunch to them. Perfection. Positive perfection. I loved it. Wow. The only negative I can say about the place is that there's a fireplace in the corner, and they must have had something stuck in the chimney, like in the smoke backed up into the restaurant at some point. It didn't smell like smoke at all in there. So this happened a while ago. There was, soot on the bricks of the fireplace itself. And when I looked up, there was soot on the ceiling. So a fresh coat of paint, nice little scrub on those bricks, and it'd be right as rain. Otherwise, great experience. The waiter, I read kind of poor reviews about him from other people. I did find him to be a little standoffish, but I didn't need a lot either. Like, I wasn't a big part. It was just me. I was just ordering one plate, and I only had water to drink. Oh, that was the best part. That plate of food plus the 2 egg rolls, which was included as part of the lunch special, and my glass of water, $9.95.
Oh my gosh.
$9.95.
Oh,
I will
my
100% be getting lunch there. Now the prices go up a little bit at dinner time, which is pretty standard. Uka does that too. The lunch plates versus the dinner
most
plates.
Places do.
It's more food at dinner time too.
Right.
So, so you expect to pay a little bit more. Yeah, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. But some people did have, like, I guess now these are probably vegans who are probably being vegans, getting into the details of how did you prepare this? How did you cook this? I don't get into that. I do my best when I'm out in a restaurant. So yes, I've been vegan, but I'm not a crazed lunatic vegan when I go out to restaurants. Some people are. Some people are very staunch. I don't eat that, and there's no way, they want to know how everything is prepared, and all that stuff. And apparently they asked a series of questions, and the guy basically told them to leave. And this was more than one review. So it clearly has happened, but that was not my experience. That was not he was perfectly lovely, and I tipped him well at the end. And that's when he actually perked up. He's like, really? That's all? Because I gave him money and I said, I only want this much back. And he's like, really? And I said, yeah. And he's like, the rest is for me? And I'm like, yes.
Wow.
It wasn't that big. It wasn't that big of it. It was more than 20%, but it was so cheap. It was like, and I loved it. I mean, I went in with mediocre expectations. I didn't think it was going to be the best I ever had. I didn't think it was going to be the worst I ever had. And this was not quite the best I've ever had, but it was well done. Very well done. I was very impressed.
Sad that there weren't more people there.
Nobody was. Now, this is a weekday.
No.
People do still work. I don't, but people do. And it was 11:45. I think they might do more of a takeout business. Especially during the day like that. Maybe there'd be more crowded at night. Regardless, I 100% will be going back.
Well, at Thai Kitchen too, we go there and a lot of times.
Yeah, we're the only ones there because we go early.
Yeah.
Before bingo. Before the bingo.
Well, that sounds like someplace maybe we need to do sometime when I come up there.
Yeah, for all the times you come up here.
I know.
Yeah.
But then, Idaho Springs isn't a big corporate company town, so.
Well, they have the McDonald's, they have the Carl's Jr.
Oh, but I just mean
that Subway.
They don't have the employees, going out at lunch as much as like Lakewood or Boulder,
No, it's more ski traffic is where they would get a lot of people because there's a gas station right there when you get off the highway. And like I said, they have the fast food restaurants, they have the Starbucks, the Subway, Carl's Jr. and McDonald's are all like right at not even a block. I don't even know how to describe it. It's not even a block's worth. They're right. And because, Starbucks and Subway are across the street from McDonald's and Carl's Jr. And I think McDonald's is the one that's attached to the gas station. That's right there. There's another gas station a little bit further when you get off of that exit, a little bit further down. And if you go further down, that's where the Safeway is. But you're still in the non-pay parking area of Idaho Springs, which is also lovely. It's a little bit more run down on that side. It's a little bit not as glamorous as the other side of their main street, which is called Minor Street. But you don't have to worry about paid for parking. This was street parking, although I did read a review that apparently there's parking in the back of the restaurant, which I didn't even know existed. But there's no meters on the street or anything like that. You don't have to pay for parking at all. So yeah, if you're in the Idaho Springs area and you see Eric's Asian Cafe, check it out. It's proper. I will try a different dish the next time and maybe Auntie Joan will join me and we can review a meat dish that they have and see how we go. But I will definitely be going back.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
You
Auntie.
betcha. All right, Auntie Joan, anything else for our listener today?
I'm getting hungry after all this talk about food.
We do love our food.
I'm ready to wrap it up.
If you'd like to hear more about our conversation regarding cooking vegan foods, check out the bonus materials specific for this episode. All right. Well, then that wraps it for yet another wonderful Pickled Watermelon Rinds episode. This is Auntie signing off.
And Auntie Joan saying bye-bye now.
We thank you for listening. And remember, when life eats away at your core, make pickled watermelon rinds.